Hey everyone, it's Brian Kurtz with the Short Sale Show, the show where we talk about how you can avoid foreclosure, save your credit, and bring little to no money to closing. Today we're going to be talking about a really controversial topic, which is, does it make sense for you to keep paying on your second mortgage? Now, in this particular topic, obviously there's going to be a lot of controversy. There's going to be a lot of feelings on both sides of this issue. But let's just go ahead and kick it off, and I'll go ahead and let you take the information, run with it, and pretty much do what you see fit. Real quick disclaimer, I do not tell anybody, I'm not advising you to go ahead and stop making payments on your second mortgage. I'm just going to go ahead and propose to you some ideas and concepts, and you can make some adjustments as you see fit. To get this started, let's go ahead and give you an example story. Let's just say that you have somebody that is paying about, let's say, $1,900 a month, just under $2,000 a month on their mortgage. Let's say the first mortgage is $1,600 a month, and the second mortgage is about $300 a month. Between the two, $1,900 a month. That includes that does include taxes and insurance. Now, let's say when you got this mortgage, introductory rate, our mortgage is on both, something like that, and in this particular scenario, payments are set to go up. Now, it may be that the $1,900 a month is really all you can afford, and it may even have gotten worse than then from you for you because of the economy changes and jobs, things like that. I run into people all the time that are paying $1,900 a month, and they could afford it, and now even that is not affordable because of job loss, pay cuts, things like that. And not only is the $1,900 a month not affordable, but then the mortgage starts adjusting up because that tends to be what adjustable mortgages do. So let's just say this in this story, mortgage adjusted up from a total of $1,900 a month going out in mortgage payments to about $2,500 a month. Let's say the first mortgage after the rate adjusted increased by $400 a month, not uncommon. It goes from $1,600 a month to $2,000 a month. And then the second mortgage adjusts up an additional $200 a month as well, and so you have a total of $500 on your per month payment on the second mortgage. So now you got about $2,500 a month going out, and $1,900 a month really was tight, and $2,500 was really unaffordable. Chewing through reserves, possibly even skipping payments on other things in order to keep the payments afloat on the house. Really not a good situation to be in. We call this imminent default. Now, let's just say that you were smart and you decided, hey, I'm going to need to look for a solution for this problem before I actually go late. You may contact me or somebody else, a different bank negotiator who knows something about short sales or short refinances. One of the keys to a short refinance, we are going to have plenty of sessions on short refinances, but one of the key points you'll always hear come up again and again and again, if you want to apply for a short refinance, best to do it before you're behind on payments or immediately after you go 30 days late. The longer you wait, the more difficult, if not impossible, it is to get them. But let's say you're smart and you searched for a solution up front before things got really bad, and you were not 30 days late, and in this particular scenario, for whatever reason, bank was not willing to work with you on a short refinance. You can always switch to plan B, which is a short sale, but let's just say there is a real strong attachment to the house in this particular case. Very strong attachment to the house. We just don't want to move. Question is, how can we make the house affordable again? So here's the thing, the big question. If you stopped paying only on your second mortgage, not on your first mortgage, but only on your second mortgage, would the house become affordable, and would it make sense for you to stay in that case? So in our story here, payments have adjusted up. You got a $2,000 a month payment on a first mortgage now, which is pretty much $100 more per month than is previous, $1,900 a month total, plus an additional $500 on the second mortgage. If we just stop paying on the second mortgage, would things become affordable? Well, $1,900 a month was pretty tight. $2,000 a month may be tighter, but it might be doable. Things in the future might be looking a little bit better for you. Money coming in from, I don't know, eBay business. Start up a side eBay business. I've done that. Or wife gets a second job, husband gets a second job. Lots of different things can come around to fill the gap on that extra $100 a month. But if the second mortgage isn't getting paid, that frees up about $500 a month, which is not a small chunk of change. Of course, then you have to start thinking about two things. Obviously, the first one is the second mortgage company going to foreclose? Because if they are going to foreclose, then obviously we're going to be moving one way or another. Second question is, what are the credit impacts? Well, let's go ahead and go over those two things so you can know exactly what you need to be thinking about. First of all, number one, is the second mortgage company going to foreclose? This has a lot of variance. No guarantees on this, but let's just go ahead and think about it from the bank's perspective. In order for your second mortgage company to foreclose against you, if you are paying and current on the first mortgage company, the second mortgage company actually has to pay off the first in full in order to go ahead and get rights to foreclose against you, because they're in the second lien position, and if they initiated first foreclosure proceedings, believe me, the first mortgage company would be stepping up to the plate. So anyway, in this particular situation, second mortgage company would have to write a big check to buy out the first mortgage company in order to be able to foreclose against you. Now, if values are dropping in your area like they are in my area, they're dropping in like free fall rock mode here, that's probably not something that the second mortgage company wants to do, because then they're just going to be writing more money that's actually going to be going down, because usually after a foreclosure right now, second mortgage company gets zero and the first mortgage company's taking a hit too. So they would, for the second mortgage company to buy out the first, they would lose all the money that they'd already invested in the second mortgage, plus they would lose money that they were writing the check to the first mortgage company for. So whether you have a second mortgage traditional or a second mortgage in the form of a home equity line of credit, it is highly unlikely that they would take that step. No guarantees that they won't, but the chances are in your favor that if you stop making payments on your second mortgage and property values are going down, that they are going to initiate foreclosure proceedings against you immediately. So that brings us down to, well, when would they? I mean, they're not just going to let it run forever, right? Well, when values start coming back up to the point where it makes sense for the second mortgage company to buy out the first and then go ahead and initiate for foreclosure proceedings, I'm sure at that time they would do so. But most likely what is going to end up happening is that second mortgage is actually just going to continue to report as not being paid. After 2 years, you got what? 720 days late on your credit report, which leads us into point number two. What happens with the credit? If you decide to just say, hey, credit's going down the pooper anyway, so let's just go ahead and do this. At least we get to stay in the house. We'll pay our other bills on time. You stop paying on the second mortgage, and now you continually every month on your credit report, that thing's going to be reported as an additional 30 days late. Like I said, after the end of 2 years, you got 720 days late, which is a lot of lates. So it is a continual problem which will not be solved on your credit report until you resolve that second mortgage in one way, shape, or form. We could talk about buying it out in a different episode. That is possible there. But pretty much credit is not going to be able to be repaired as long as you continue to have that mark being reported on your credit. So if you can plan to just say, hey, I don't care about my credit for a long period of time, I want to stay in my house, it might make sense to not make payments on your second mortgage. If you have to really want to stay, just keep the first mortgage current, keep it from going into foreclosure, because it's unlikely that the second mortgage company is going to foreclose against you. Just remember, credit implications are going to be high. And again, let's rewind to short refinance. Don't use this whole not pay the second mortgage tactic if you are thinking about doing a short refinance. Reason being, once you go more than 90 days late on any mortgage, whether it's a first or a second, it's going to be very, very, very difficult to get the new financing for a short refinance. So, thank you for watching. If you thought that this information was useful, or you think actually that I'm totally out of my mind, please feel free, if you're watching this from my website at shortsaleshow.com, leave the comments in the comment section below. If you think that this is great information that maybe other people would want to get a hold of, it's a kind of a unique concept, unique idea that people are implementing all over the U.S., but nobody's really talking about, put that on the dig or the stumble upon buttons below, the Technorati buttons. Let the other people know out there that this is something that might be able to help them in a situation they are facing currently. Again, I'm Brian Kurtz. Thank you for watching the Short Sale Show.